Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Kman and Gorbachev here. Week 11. NFL line spreads, guesses? Let's get it. What's going on, Kman?
Nothing. Just here on a Thursday. Palace. Gorbachev Palace.
Gorbachev Palace, once again. Sorry about last week's, week 10. We kind of had some technical difficulties with the storm and everything. Didn't really get a chance to get the podcast out there. But this week we're back and we are ready to tackle some week 11 spreads.
Yeah.
You know what they say, if Vegas puts a number on it, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, power and gas issues last week, but we're back at it, ready to go.
So, real quick recap of last week. What really stuck out to you in last week's games?
The Giants.
The G-Men?
Eli Manning legitimately looked like the worst quarterback in the entire NFL last week. And he's been doing this for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't understand. I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. They look like such a promising and scary team, and they're playing. I guess they always hit these lulls in November, but it doesn't make sense to me that they're playing this poorly. They really need this bye.
Typical Giants.
They do this every year. It's crazy.
Following suit.
Yeah, they do this every year.
Don't be surprised when they limp into the playoffs as the wild card.
They were way too high up on everyone's radar, so now they're just playing terribly, trying to sneak into the playoffs so they can do their thing and win as a 5 or 6 seed, I assume.
It's a great time for a bye for them.
Yeah, they needed this.
A
lot of people are saying he's injured, his arms, they said he has his arm's tired or something, but I don't really. He's denying it, obviously. I don't really know what's going on with him, but this bye week cannot hurt.
Couldn't have been a better time for a bye week, in my opinion. I wanted to say something about. First of all, I liked the Jaguars last week. That is officially the last time I will ever go against Andrew Luck.
Or the last time you'll ever bet on Blaine Gabbert.
Well, both factors come into play there. Another thing I wanted to say, my Bucks always just really killing it.
Yeah, they're
really
my
team, really a great team.
I wouldn't say great, but very underratedly, very solid, above average team.
Carl Nick's going down, didn't really.
Yeah, I thought that would be a huge loss for them. I thought that was going to be a big deal, and apparently they're doing fine with it. Though Doug Martin did cool off last week. Finally,
I know
he only had 70 yards or something, I think.
Really didn't affect him as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a big deal also.
And then my Jets, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I love Seattle. You can't go against Seattle at home. That other game I wanted to really just touch on quick was the Eagles.
Yeah.
I guess Vic's injured now, but he should have been benched and Andy Reid should have been fired. Just all of them, they're just really spiraling down right now. And the Cowboys have a little life.
That score really isn't indicative of what happened that game. You can't just throw in Nick Foles into that second half and expect him to do much. You know.
I mean, the Cowboys look like with the way the Giants are playing. The Cowboys had a lot of heartbreaking, tough, close losses to good teams, and they look like if they could pick it up, they have a shot at the playoffs. I mean, it's a long shot.
They're
but
one
they have
game
a shot.
back. Yeah, they do have a shot.
I think they're a little. Yeah, I guess what's the wild card at in the NFC? You think they're only one game out right now?
I think they're only 1.5 games out of the division for the NFC East.
What are the Giants' record? 6-3, I thought. Whatever.
And how about that tie?
Yeah.
First tie since 2008.
First of all, the Rams, I can't even. They should have won that game. That was just embarrassing. Danny Amendola is great.
Now, it was embarrassing. The fact that they were getting 14 points that game.
That's true. They were just so undisciplined. Did you see the game or no?
I watched some of it until Red Zone decided to shut off at 8 o'clock.
It was there. I mean, the penalties they took were literally game changing. They took a illegal shift, I think, on an 80-yard overtime pass that would have won them the game.
That would have won me the fantasy week.
Everything. And then they had a delay of game on a game-winning field goal in overtime. Those are two of the worst penalties you could take. And Jeff Fisher called a terrible timeout.
I heard about this.
A terrible timeout. I was actually, when I was watching the game, and he called timeout, and I was with a couple of my buddies, and I'm like, they have a minute and a half left, and they're inside the 10. There's no reason you shouldn't let the clock run down and worry about the clock when it gets to 30. Take your time and just run the plays. They gave him a minute and a half to kick the field goal. And as soon as they scored, I said, no shot. this game isn't going to overtime, and it did.
It's amazing how people regard him as one of the best NFL coaches too.
I mean, he is a great
He
coach.
really
Look
is,
at what he
but-
did, but like that was just he made it. I don't get the team's just terribly undisciplined, and he made a very bad timeout call there. But I mean, that was the Rams are a really underrated. They're a solid, sneaky team, I'd say. They should take care of the Jets, no problem this week.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that's this week. Or that's last week. Let's move along to.
So yeah, let's
more
move on to
important-
this week. So we're taping this on a Thursday night while the Dolphins-Bills game is going
Well, the
on.
Bills are dismantling the Dolphins.
So we're gonna hold off on that game and let's just move straight to Sunday.
Okay. So what game you have? First?
All right, let's start off with a little 1:00 Packers at the Lions. I had the Lions getting 4 here. The Packers are off the bye. It's on the road. You know, this could have been up to 6, but something like Lions with Calvin Johnson rejuvenated last week had me thinking this could be 4.5 or 4. I went lower with the home field. Took 4.
Yeah, I went 5.5, and I mean, I thought it could have been higher. Like the Packers are playing very good football right now. They're coming off a bye, and
You love that bye angle. You love.
I mean, I do, and I think the Packers are one of the better teams. They had a rough start to the season, but they're still like a very, very, very good team, like a top, elite team in the league. And I think the Lions they had a good year like when they made the playoffs last year, but Stafford's regressed. He's not playing well. I don't see their defense is bad. I haven't seen him this year. I don't know what he's been doing. Like their defense is very bad, and I mean Calvin's not even doing great. I don't see any positive signs on this team this year, and I just think the Packers could dismantle them.
What did Sue had like 1 tackle or something?
I really haven't heard his name once this year, that's like the craziest thing about it. I really haven't heard him doing anything this year. The only thing I heard about him was he won the dirtiest player in the NFL again, 2nd year in a row.
And with that 1 tackle, Jim Schwartz said that was the best game he's played as a Lion.
That's great. But yeah, so what was that line?
3.5. Lions getting 3.5.
I think that's low. I really like the Packers in that game, and I mean maybe I'd buy a half and go at that, and I think I'm gonna that would be one of my plays this week for sure.
Why is it so low?
I don't know. Maybe
who really is taking the Lions?
I don't know. I think the Packers
Because they're at home and people think they're still a good team.
Lions. I don't think the Lions are that great a team, and I think the Packers are an elite team that are playing like they are. And Clay Matthews is out. That is one, and Woodson. They're both out, which is a big deal, I'd say. But I still think they should have no problem with a not so great Lions team.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Next, we got the hapless Cardinals coming into the Georgia Dome,
Yeah.
taking on the Falcons.
Yeah, they finally lost, huh?
I really thought I went low here. I thought the Cardinals could maybe bring it in the Dome, maybe somewhat keep this close. Falcons stumbled last week, lost their first game ever. I mean, not ever of this season. I really thought this would be right in the Vegas zone. Falcons giving 5.5, and maybe they're losing by 3 and come up and win by 4 at the end. You know, I could see that.
The Falcons were overrated in the sense that they were not they shouldn't have been undefeated at that point. They're not that good, but they still are a solid team at home against a team that I think is just terrible. There's no line. Their defense was very good at the beginning of the year. It's still solid, but it's not like elite. I thought at home, and where they played great in the Georgia Dome, I had to give them over a touchdown. I went with 8, and I think was it 9.5? I think
It's 9.5.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, it seems a little bit high to me, but I mean, no one gives the Falcons any love, and I mean, I don't think they're like a Super Bowl team, but I think they are a very solid team.
What were the Cardinals on the road in Lambeau last week or 2 weeks ago?
Spread?
Yeah, they were like 9.
I think it was double digits. I think it was 10 or 10.5. I'm pretty sure.
See, and you know what I'm thinking? Like that, Lambeau's a much more hostile environment to play.
But
as
the
a dome,
Falcons
they're a
do play
dome team.
great at home,
They're a
though.
dome team.
The Falcons play great at home, though.
I know, but the Cardinals are a dome team too. And if they're getting around 9.5, 10 points, I don't see why they can't keep that game close, especially with the Falcons not playing as well as they had been. Especially with they have no real urgency in this game. They pretty much have a 2-3 game lead in the division.
You know what? I think
it's
the
a lot of
Bucks
points.
and the Saints both are playing well enough to like make a run at them.
Make a scare.
They're
Give them a
both
scare.
solid teams.
They
They're
really
both
are.
very solid teams. The Falcons should not feel like that, like they've won the division yet. They need to keep up their intensity.
I really hope the Bucks are playing the Saints again this season, right?
Bucks Saints, yeah, they only played that
If
one
they both-
one crazy game
If
at the
they
end.
both are winning out, and that's gonna be a great game.
I don't
to
know
end
what
the
week they
season.
play. We could
But
check into
later
that.
in the season, you don't have to check, but
Okay.
like later in the season, that's gonna be an awesome game if it has playoff implications. I'm really excited for that.
I do think that line's a little high. I agree, but I mean the Falcons do need to like just step up and rock a bad team at home. But like I wouldn't bet on them, but they need to do it. I think they need for the morale. They need to just like everyone just talks about how like they were overrated and not that good a team, and they just need to. I think they're solid. I don't think they're like elite.
Not elite.
Okay.
Same thing's gonna happen this year. They go to the playoffs and they're gonna
Lose
get
first round.
lose first round. Probably get railed by the Packers.
Oof, that'd be a tough matchup. Packers would smack them. I
They
think.
would smack them. Same. They're not making any steps forward.
I mean, why not? Like,
I mean,
they
they-
have a solid team. What's preventing them
I'm
from
still
moving forward?
I'm still skeptical of it. All comes down to the playoffs. The regular season really
Obviously,
doesn't
but-
matter for them.
I mean, granted, they've choked in the playoffs plenty, but why do you think they can't win the playoffs? What do you think Matt Ryan just can't win when it counts?
I mean, I'm rooting for him. I hope he does.
Do you think it's Matt Ryan? Do you think that's the reason?
I just don't know what the reason is. They're just very inconsistent. It's just inconsistent
they've struggled
play.
in the playoffs. I would like to see them win a game in the playoffs. I'd like to see them like make the next step to like a better team. You know.
That's what I. So, next we have my Bucks at Carolina, which really just such a disappointment this season.
Mm-hmm.
Really pathetic. Is it like Ron Rivera's fault? Is this Cam Newton just regressing?
I think it's
Like,
everyone. I think
sophomore slump?
that whole organization. But like they've been in games. Like they're not as. They got rocked. What happened last week with them? Did they get killed?
They got rocked by the Broncos.
Oh yeah, that's a good team though.
It's a good team, but actually, did you see that play where the Hillman had that punt return?
Yeah.
And he flicked the ball before.
Oh,
the
yeah,
end
I did
zone?
see that. Mhm.
That made the game a 2-score game, and if that was actually ruled how it should have been a fumble, they're in that game. They're down by 7.
I mean, taking out last week's
But I mean,
game,
whatever, that's
they've
one
been
play.
in a lot of games this year, and I mean they're not very good, but they're okay. Like they should be like a mediocre team, maybe like a 7-9, but like they're not going to win that many. But I think they could have won 7 games this year if they got a little more lucky.
They should be better than 2 and 7.
Definitely better than 2 and 7.
So they're at home, divisional game. They're playing like crap. The Bucks are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. I think they've covered every spread this year, maybe except 1 or 2.
Yeah, I couldn't see them covering.
They're literally killing the Bucks.
Mm.
And I'm gonna say the Panthers are just under a field goal dog, plus 2.5.
Yeah, I had 2.5 also, same line.
And amazingly, they're only a 1-point underdog.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really surprise me. The Bucks need to lose eventually, and like on the road, I think the Panthers could win that game. I do. The Bucks The Bucks are a good team. I just don't like. They're gonna have to lose a game. I really think they're gonna lose. Like, I haven't looked at their schedule. I don't know what their schedule is looking like coming up, but this is a losable game.
I'm not going against the Bucks. They're too hot. They're too good.
I'm not bad. I
I'm
wouldn't bet on it either.
There's problems with Steve Smith. He got benched in the game.
Well,
They have issues with the coaches and the players. I'm not going against the Bucks here.
I'm not either. I think the Panthers have a shot at this, and I guess if a lean would be the Panthers, but I wouldn't pull the trigger on that. What do you have next?
Browns at the Cowboys.
Cowboys look decent. They look good last week.
They look good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cowboys looked good, and I think this is the start of their role. They're back at home, having a crappy team come into town.
You know what? I think the Browns are
They're
not
not.
as awful as everyone always thinks they
They're
are.
not, but they're perceived as awful, and
I
you
know.
know Jerry Jones is going to give his team a game out of the division. They're
They're more than a
they're
game
gonna
out
be
of the
pumped
division.
up.
They're definitely more than a game.
They're a
out.
game and a half. I'm pretty sure they're a game and a half out. They're gonna come, bring their A game. Their defense with Claiborne, Scandrick, DeMarcus Ware. They're gonna step up, and I really see the typical 31-10 Dallas Cowboys smackdown this week, and I thought it would be 7.5.
I'm
And if
worried.
it's any lower, I would like to hit that.
I
very
feel like
hard.
the Browns play teams close and lose at the end every game. I don't know. I don't want to lay over a touchdown. I mean, we should go to our line guesses, but
I said Cowboys -7.
I had 6.5. I didn't want to lay more than a touchdown with it. And what was it, 7.5? I think.
I think it was 7.5.
Yeah.
Might be going up to 8. Though.
Yeah, I think it's moving that way too. But I think the Cowboys, they need to win the game, and I think they will, because if they want to make a run at the playoffs, they need this game. I get a little worried that the Browns could keep it close. They're a very solid team. Like, they're very underrated. They have some talent there. Like, they're trending upwards.
I think Brandon Whedon doesn't know it's about to hit him though.
I mean, Whedon's been. I mean,
Their
after
defense is very
everyone was
underrated.
ripping on how awful he was, like
He's
the
playing
worst
better.
quarterback in the league after the first week or two, he's been playing very solid of late. And I mean, I don't want to lay over a touchdown here. Maybe if you buy it to under the touchdown would be good, but I might like tease them since we could get to our auto loss teaser of the week. At some point,
our
I throw
parlays
them
and
in there.
teasers have been really solid as of late.
Yeah, I mean, teasers just seem like they always screw me, but I guess that's just you only remember the bad ones.
But I don't know, man. I think the Browns are too one-dimensional. They don't pass at all.
No, we didn't had over like 300 yards in like a bunch of straight games.
Against the Ravens, depleted
not
defense.
just the Ravens. I'm saying in a bunch of games. He was for like a stretch, like a couple weeks stretch. He was playing very well. They don't have receivers though, which is a problem. Gordon was playing well for a little bit.
This game seems like it has the makings for one of those Cowboys blowouts.
It could be. They have one of those. They usually have a couple of those a year. I remember the Bucks last year. The
Bucks last year, the Rams last year. They have those games, and I feel like they're due for it.
This could be it. But
this could be it.
I think I'm gonna tease them and get them at a nice like half 7, or I'll get them at like a half or something. We'll see.
You're not gonna need to tease them.
What do you mean? Oh,
You're not gonna need it.
I still do it. Play safe.
We got next.
What-
Eagles, Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
Classic NFC
Nick
East
Foles,
divisional
the Nick
match.
Foles era.
I'm actually interested to see what this kid will do off a week of rest and practice and first reps with the team.
My question to you is: Vic gonna play another game for the Eagles ever?
What are the odds of yes?
I don't know. I don't have odds. Yes or no question for you.
I think the yes would probably be -150.
It's great. You have to make everything a gambling question. You can
Yeah,
just
why
answer
not?
my yes or no.
No, I think yes is going to be slightly favored there.
I think
there's a good chance he'll come in if Nick Foles wins this.
Okay, this is my thoughts on it. I think he's gone after this year no matter what. So I think it's a matter of this year. And if Nick Foles goes out there and plays poorly and they keep losing, why bring him back when you could just keep developing Foles? And if Nick Foles plays well and wins, why take him out? That's what I'm thinking. I think there's very little chance he plays again this year.
So it sounds like
I think no
he's
matter
not
what happens, he
playing
can't
his-
play ever again for this team. What do you know?
is he ruled out officially?
Oh, they said he has significant concussion. He's out for this week for sure. They said his concussion is very significant, but I don't know how bad that is. I think they just wanted an excuse to let Foles play. But if Foles plays poorly, they're going to be completely out of the playoffs. Why bring him back when you want to develop your young player? And then if he plays well, you're going to want to leave him in because he's playing well. Like, what situation could you see Mike Vick coming back in?
I guess the more relevant question is, though, how is Foles going to play this week?
Well, we'll see. That's
and
a
what
different matter.
is the spread going to be? And I think the Skins are giving 3. Off the bye, by the way.
I had the same spread. What do you have for the?
And it's 3.5.
Oh, we're right there. I mean, the half point is a bit of a.
Like every NFC division game should be, at -3 at
I
home.
remember you're everything. You said that a couple weeks ago. Every spread for that division should be 3.
I think Foles will play well here.
Can't play much worse. I think. They have no line though, so I feel terrible. He's gonna get like leveled as a rookie. He's just gonna get eaten alive out there.
He could get destroyed.
I mean, they just don't have a line. It's really embarrassing. Like, I mean, it's not their fault. They just get ravaged by injuries. But like, it's a terrible. Like when you have no when you have backup linemen playing for you, you're in a lot of trouble.
Obviously, Vegas thinks something he could play somewhat if they're going to make the spread 3.5. Otherwise, I would see this up to 6 or so.
I mean, the Eagles have talent. It's their line is such a big problem right now that like it negates the fact that they have all these like ridiculously solid players. Like LaShawn McCoy is probably is a top 3 running back in the NFL in my opinion. Like, and he hasn't been doing much. They barely give him the ball. It's just, and that's just also Reed being a terrible coach in my opinion. But they're always losing, so they can't really run too much. But yeah, it should be a fun divisional game. I like
should
that
be
game.
a cool game.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see RG3 off the bye. I think they really.
They need to bounce back. They've been playing pretty poorly the last few weeks.
They really have been. Kind of no one's really talking about it.
Yeah,
either.
they've really been playing pretty badly, and I mean, I think this is a game they need just for like a nice like young teams. Like they need a home win against like a team that's really in shambles right now.
Game of the week. My Jets
Ugh,
in St. Louis.
terrible game. I actually like the Rams, especially at home. Just in general, I think they're a very like underrated team, and I guess I hate the Jets and you love them, so it's a bit of a disparity. There's not very unbiased.
I really can't take any side in this game, but when you have reports of the own Jets players calling Tebow terrible,
I opened the paper and read that. That made my day. Just quote unquote, he is
can't
terrible.
do
That's
that.
all it
you
said.
can't say that. This happened last year,
It's great.
and the team imploded, and now it's happening again. Like,
Yeah,
the season's over.
There's such division in the locker room, and then you have Sean Green coming out saying Sanchez sucks and Tebow should play. So everyone's just talking. They should be quiet and not be saying anything, and they're just going it's just it's a circus. It's a circus. Thing.
Rex Ryan crying after the loss. This team's in shambles. You have to be an absolute moron to take the Jets any week left in the season, I would say.
Yeah, what do you have this line at?
Rams giving 3.5.
I had 3.
It's 3.5.
3.5. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. I almost said 3.5.
I actually thought you could be up to 4.
I was gonna say 3.5. I felt bad for the Jets. Yeah, so I mean, I could buy that.
The same thing happened last year, and they went on to lose like 6 straight or just drop every game the rest of the season.
Yeah.
When there was a division in the locker room, and now the same shit's happening.
Yeah,
It's really a joke.
They're too much of a circus. Like remember the beginning of the year, they were all talking about how the Jets were a circus. They just prove themselves. They just prove everyone right by all this shenanigans in that locker room. What's next? What we got next?
Bengals at the Chiefs.
Bengals, Chiefs. Possibly the worst team in the league. Maybe the Jaguars, but
Chiefs played really nice against the Pittsburgh.
yeah, but they obviously fell short because they're the Chiefs.
Yeah, obviously.
And that was with Big Ben injured, which is a huge deal, obviously.
Their defense is really what was great. Derek Johnson played
They have
great.
some solid players on that defense. I like Eric Berry.
I had them after the Bengals' impressive victory against the Giants. I had the Chiefs getting about 3.5.
Yeah, I went way high. I went a little higher just because I think the Chiefs are literally the worst team ever. So I said 5.5.
You like that Bengals win over the Giants, don't you?
Why would I like it?
I mean, you get giving them props for that.
I mean, you know, I don't think the Giants have ever won in Cincinnati, which is something I would like to have known beforehand. But I mean, I give the Cincy credit and I give the Giants like grief about it. I give both. And I think the Bengals have had some tough games. They really have. I mean, I think they have a long shot, but they could make that. Why couldn't they compete in that division?
The Bengals?
With Pittsburgh now lost.
They definitely could.
And I think if they win this game, I think they have an easy couple of games coming up. If they win, I think they have another easy game next week. I forgot exactly who it was.
Now you're talking silly.
What's silly about that?
It would be pretty nuts if the Bengals come out and win this division.
I mean, it would be
the Ravens.
It's obviously a long shot. I was just saying they have if they play well, they could do it.
I think the Ravens pull it out. It's pretty much locked up with Big Ben out.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone was writing them off saying the Steelers were probably even going to win the division when they were already still behind them. Obviously now it's different, but I mean, the Ravens still have their share of injuries, but they definitely seem like they're the best team in that division right now. And then next week the Bengals have the Raiders at home. So I mean, the Bengals have a pretty favorable schedule coming up. I think. I mean, obviously they need to like win a couple games in a row, but if they win, like say they win this week and next week, people got to start at least thinking about it. You know.
Of course. And their defense is solid. They can play.
Yeah. I just don't love Andy Dalton. AJ Green might be the best receiver in football. I really think he is.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
I mean, I think we'll see what happens, but I also hate the Chiefs, so I think the Bengals. The line was 3.5 in the game.
Yeah.
I could see buy it to 3 and take it because the Chiefs shouldn't win another game this entire year. I really don't think. Last game of the ones.
The last 1 o'clocker.
The other worst team in the league. In maybe the best team in the league.
Jags at the Texans.
This is going to have to be the biggest spread.
This
has to be the biggest spread.
Can this spread get high enough?
I don't think so. I guessed 13.5.
I took 13.
And I was thinking, I just haven't seen any spreads higher than that. This could have been 17. No one's in their right mind is taking the Jaguars in this game. I don't care what the spread is.
I would take them if Henny is starting.
I think Henny's better.
Henny is so much better than Gabbert, and he went to Michigan. And he was actually moving the ball down the field when Gabbert went out last week against the Colts.
Yeah, he had their 1 touchdown drive as soon as he came in, I think. Not that I could stand to watch any of that game.
So the Texans are going to be in every teaser in America.
It's crazy. If you put them in a 14 teaser, they're still like a field goal favorite.
They're going to be in every teaser.
What's his line in that game? 15.5?
15.5.
Jeez, that's unbelievable. And I think it's going to get higher. I couldn't see anyone betting on the Jags. I really couldn't. So what do you think the best game is out of those?
If I could watch any of them, I would watch the Bucks playing the Panthers because I want to watch the
That's
Bucks.
a very good game. I like that. It's a solid game.
Really
I want to watch
crappy.
the Packers-Lions, nice divisional game, and I want to see if the Packers really are. If they win this game, like they could be, they could be a Super Bowl team. I want to see them like step up and just romp.
It's not a great slate.
It isn't. It's not a very great slate. And then obviously we could watch probably the biggest nail biter game, Jags-Texans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna really be tuning into that game.
Are you gonna help yourself to any Jaguars money line?
I'd rather burn money. It's easier, and I don't have to watch any Jaguar football.
All right.
But yeah, I think the Packers Lions would be a good game to watch.
Eagles Skins, I would watch that.
Yeah, it's a nice. There's some nice division games there. The Packers, Lions, Bucks, Panthers, and Eagles Skins. Some pretty solid division games, and then that's really about it though. So let's move on to the 4s.
Okay. Saints at the Raiders.
Do you think people believe in the Saints now again after?
Do you believe?
The Saints have made me so angry this year. I don't know if I can ever bet on them ever again or against them. I just avoid them at all costs at this point. But I mean, they're starting to look a little bit like the Saints of old. Their defense went from being the worst defense in history to just the worst defense this year, which is nice.
Nice little upgrade.
A nice little upgrade. It's nice to. They've looked a little bit better. Obviously, they couldn't have looked any worse, but maybe they need to win this game. They want to make a run back into out of everyone's terrible shit list.
How about my dude Marcel Reese?
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting fantasy pickup.
Thank you.
Ridiculous. You might be the luckiest human being ever.
Yeah, I kind of.
No, but you couldn't have predicted 2 injuries.
I did. I had a feeling D-Mac was gonna go down.
Okay, then 2
and
injuries.
then I knew Goodson. I spoke to his doctor.
Okay.
He had a shaky knee, and I had a really good feeling he was
I have
gonna go
the
down
opposite kind of things. I have my guy gets back spasms and just misses the game for no reason right before it starts. I've had that happen before.
So Raiders at home, obviously gonna be a dog. Going to be a dog against the Saints here.
The Saints are playing better too.
I wanted to say 3, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they play much better at home. I said Raiders plus 2.5.
I feel like the Saints are a pretty public team, and now that they're finally starting to look a little better, I went over the field goal more to the Vegas, so I went 4.5, and I think that's exactly what it was.
It was 4.5.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by that. That seems exactly, obviously, where I thought.
Raiders defense hasn't been playing as well as I thought they would this season.
They got who burnt the Doug Martin. Just that was his historical game.
If Darren Sproles playing this week.
They said he's practicing it, and they think it looked like he's playing.
What a beast! Playing on a broken hand.
Yeah, it's for
pretty
normal
impressive.
running backs, it's not that bad. I think McGahee or someone played with the same thing as him last week. He only missed one game, so I think it's not too bad. But he is like a pass catching running back, so it is a little bit different for him. Like he needs his hands.
Yeah, he kind of
more than other running
could
backs.
use those hands.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty. I do think it's impressive, but he'll probably be casted up. So, I mean, I couldn't be. He's gonna have to wear something on it. I don't know how he's gonna be a great pass catcher, but we'll see. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens.
The Saints can win this by 10.
The Saints should win this by 10, but I mean, they could. Knowing the Saints, they've just been ridiculously all over the place. They could just throw up a goose egg. Who knows?
All right. Now this is an interesting divisional rematch from the Chargers debacle we spoke about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. We were both initially pretty accurate with that, and obviously talked out of it and lost.
Now I've just been waiting for the Broncos to just stumble, and they really haven't.
Yeah, they look really good.
At
they
home,
look Super Bowl-esque right now.
I only made them -4 here. I thought that's what Vegas would come out with.
They're playing too well, and everyone loves them too much for them to come out with that low a spread.
What did you think?
I had 7. I figured a touchdown seems about right. The Chargers are the weirdest team. They should they should be like a decent team, but they're really like one of the worst teams I've seen play.
Rivers was awful.
And the craziest thing, you know what a good bet would be every week? Whoever the Chargers are playing second half. Rivers is by far the worst quarterback in the second half. He has like a 2 quarterback rating in the second half. It's just embarrassing what he does in the second half.
His pick 6.
They'll be in the game in the first half. They'll play pretty solid, and then they just get romped every game in the second half.
His pick 6 in the second half of the Bucs game was humiliating. He was
terrible.
about to should have thrown away
terrible.
and just pick 6 with a 3-point game, and then he made a 10-point game.
Awful.
All right, so it
what
was
that
8.
line?
It was 8.
8? Yeah, I thought it'd be a little. Yeah, that's not surprising me. Doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, do you think this is a game where the Broncos could stumble? I think. I mean, the Chargers have potential to win games, but the Broncos are playing so well, and the Chargers I just think are so just pretty dreadful this year. Honestly,
this really could just come down to it. Could the Chargers pull the backdoor cover, being down 14 points, and they come and score a garbage touchdown and cover the 8?
You know what? I could probably see myself going with a Broncos Cowboys teaser just to have them win.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I couldn't which one of those teams could lose that? I mean, the Cowboys need both these. I mean, the Broncos are gonna have to fall off soon, but I think the Chargers are not. They're just not a very good team this year, and the Broncos are playing too well for me to go against them. Their defense is playing great right now too.
You see Norv after the press conference, though?
Von Miller looks great every week.
Did you see Norv Turner at the press conference?
What did he do?
Just getting all pissed off, and never seen him like that.
Well, I mean, his team. I mean, he needs to lose his job. I don't know how he keeps keeping it, but they're not. Their team can't even get up. They don't have Matthews isn't even practicing. I think he'll play this week, but I mean, he's not even playing well. He was supposed to be one of their best players. He was supposed to have so much potential, and he's having fumbling problems, not playing great every week. And then Rivers obviously terrible. I don't see anyone on their team where I'm wow, this guy's really performing well.
Malcolm Floyd, Gates.
Well, yeah, I mean Gates has also had his duds, but I guess that's more on Rivers than him.
I think this is too high a spread.
I could see that.
And the Chargers literally were manhandling the Broncos that first half.
Yeah, and then they got worse than manhandled in the second half. But that's what they do. I mean, this game should be close. But also last week, I liked them to keep it close with Tampa, and they obviously every game they keep it close to the half, and then they just get dismantled in the second half, and they didn't cover, right? The Bucs won by 10, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see the same type of game with the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are playing so well right now, I couldn't go against them.
It's kind of unfortunate for the Chargers playing two of the hottest teams in the NFL back-to-back.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Broncos and the Cowboys teased. I couldn't see either of those losing. That could be one of mine of the week, one of my go-to of the week.
The Broncos teased.
Both at home.
Broncos
both playing,
so the Broncos to beat the Chargers, and the Cowboys to beat the Browns.
Yeah, it seems pretty good to me. And then
Sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it always is. It always is.
So
I can't wait till next week when I'm cursing about how one of those teams screwed me. So stay tuned for that, everyone.
So let me ask you, two of the hottest teams Chargers just played, the Bucks and now the Broncos.
Yeah, and they also played the Broncos like 2 weeks ago.
What odds would I get if I took the Bucks to play the Broncos in the Super Bowl? Pretty nice, right?
Yeah, the Broncos are probably the third. Alright, so I'd say Houston and maybe the Patriots would have better odds, just because everyone always puts the Patriots up there. At the AFC, I'm just going one by one here, and then the Bucks. I mean, they're playing great, but I obviously don't see them at like one of the top like 5 in the NFC.
It's an interesting thought.
No, because like I'm thinking like, what are the odds of the Bucks making the Super Bowl? They couldn't be. Like, if you go through the NFC, you have, I don't know about the Giants anymore, but I guess you got to keep them up there. Then you have the Falcons, just because their record. The Bears lost Cutler, but when he's back,
Niners,
they're going to be solid.
Seahawks, Giants. There's too many good teams.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are going to even have trouble making the playoffs. They're a good team, and they can make the playoffs, and I think they will. But it's good. I wouldn't even worry about the Super. They're worrying about getting into the playoffs right now, I'd say. You got good odds on that. I couldn't even guess.
Like hundreds to one. So let's see. What's next?
Last game of the 4s would be Luck at Brady.
The best game of the week.
Very solid game. I mean, the Patriots have trouble blowing anyone out, so I think this could be a nice close game. Obviously, the spreads I thought would be pretty high. I went with 10.
You went with 10?
Yeah.
Jesus, no love for the Luck man.
I mean, I think they're gonna need, first of all, they don't play well on the road. They don't. It's a known fact for them, and they've come off such like 2 emotional wins, like with Pagano or whatever, like coming into the stadium, that was a really emotional speech, by the way. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Very great speech. I really enjoyed watching that.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
But
they're gonna have to the Colts are playing great, but like I really don't see them winning in Foxborough. They're gonna have to stumble eventually. And Brady's the kind of person that'll make you stumble.
I'm done going against Luck, though.
That's fine. I haven't bet against Luck, so I'm not done.
I really like Luck. I knew it'd be great watching him at Stanford.
Everyone knew he'd be great. That's not a very ballsy statement.
No, I mean,
supposed to be the
people were saying...
He was supposed to be the next
Yeah,
Peyton
but it
Manning.
wasn't so obvious.
Yeah, it really was. He was the best quarterback prospect in like a decade.
Yeah,
probably.
but people weren't like loving it. But
Every
whatever.
person was loving him. Yes.
Okay, whatever. Let's get to the game. I thought they'd be 6.5 point favorites. The public loves Luck, and I thought the Patriots defense isn't great.
Yeah, I agree. I think 10's way. I guess 10. I think that's too high. What's the line?
9.5.
Yeah, I mean, I still think 9.5's a little high. I think it could be a close game. I do not think the Colts will win this game. I think it could be like a touchdown win for the Patriots, which mean if I had to lean on the game, I'd take the Colts, especially because the Patriots just have not like played great. Even last week when they should have smacked up the Bills, they won by like 6. Like they're really not like dismantling teams besides that London game.
The Patriots are going to put up at least 28, 31 points.
The Patriots put up 24 points every week, like minimum. I don't think they put up less than that this year.
They're going to put up that many points. So is Luck going to score 21 points?
I think Luck will score a good amount of points. I think it could be a close game, but I'm not surprised the line's like 9 at all. That doesn't surprise me. The Colts have to lose. Like they're playing great right now, but like they're not that great a team. Look at what they did last year, and the only difference is they have Luck now, which is obviously a much 100 times better than Curtis Painter.
That line really seems like it's begging for some Colts money.
It does seem Colts money, which makes me I'm a little skeptical of the matter. I don't think I can take either side in this game. It's too weird a game, but I really don't think the Colts. The only thing I can say is Luck's gonna lose this game. As good as Luck is, and I really think he's great. I don't think you can. He's a rookie with that. He doesn't even have that much talent with him. He really doesn't. He has like Wayne solid, and then who else on that team do you think's like you're like, wow, this guy's good?
No.
Anyone? I'm just
Luck?
asking. Besides Luck.
The Colts?
Yeah.
Wayne?
I said Wayne. Besides Wayne.
Oh, besides Wayne?
Yeah.
I like Hilton. I like Avery.
Avery. I hate Avery. I mean, he gets a ball thrown to him all the time, and he just doesn't do anything.
Here's what I'm thinking. This game really kind of has a lot of similarities to the Tebow at Patriots playoff game last year,
Where they just got romped.
where they got romped, but
I
they
don't
were
think
also like plus 10.
First of all, I don't think it's that similar.
But
First
you
of all,
get
that's a playoff thing.
You get luck though.
I know. I'm saying it's similar, except that was playoffs, and I think
And
you can't even compare Andrew Luck to Tim Tebow in talent.
I know, but they were both similar spreads, and I'm saying you're getting 10 points with
Okay,
Luck
but no,
who's better.
but you can't look at it like that because the
And it's
Broncos.
not a playoff game.
Okay, but the Broncos were a much better overall team. Their defense was very solid. The Colts defense is mediocre at best. They're besides Wayne, Luck has no one, and that's what's so impressive. He's doing this like by himself. Like Painter, like Wayne's doing well, obviously, but like Painter was in the same situation with very similar people last year, and obviously he's terrible, but they won 2 games. He's been great all year, and I think as good as Luck is, he's not going to be able to go into Foxborough and win.
It's going to be a cool game to watch.
I'm going to love watching it, and I think it's going to be I really do think it could be a close game, and I hope it is. I really want to see like an entertaining game, but I really think Brady is going to... This defense sucks. Brady should dismantle this defense.
So what's wrong with the Pats, Cowboys, and Broncos teaser?
All teased?
Yeah.
I just liked that I was getting the Broncos and Cowboys at a nice even pick'em kind of money.
You get them at 2.5.
No, I know, but like
field goal.
plus 2.5 is under. It's just I feel like the number's better. I could do like a Pats and like maybe Houston, throw them in there because they're not gonna. They should smack them. And I mean like then find like you know what I mean. I could find like a separate teaser for that, but I don't think I'm putting in more than one teaser this week. I mean, I do like the Pats to win, definitely, and it should be a great game to watch. That's really all I have to say about all I left to say about that.
All right, it will be a good game.
Yeah.
Now the Ravens Steelers Sunday night. Big Ben, let's say he's out. He should be out.
He's out. They said he might die from his injury.
Rib could rip out his aorta.
Yeah.
Enough said.
They said he's out for at least 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure. They said like no way he plays this week and probably not next week. So I picked this line with both thinking if I thought he was gonna play and if I thought he wasn't gonna play.
So do it as if he's out.
Okay, he's out. I had the Steelers +3 with him out.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the Ravens. If Big Ben doesn't play, that team is just Leftwich is really not that
Garbage.
great.
I think Batch might come in.
I mean, they're both just terrible, honestly. So, and I mean, the Ravens had their injuries, but like they look at what they did last week.
They need this.
Look what they did last week. They put up 55 points. They're finally starting to click again, and they got everyone like everything fixed up with the personnel, like the injury issues. And I think they're starting to click again. I mean, they should run away with this division, and they really should have no problem beating the Steelers, honestly, this week without Big Ben.
I really think even with their defensive woes, they really should.
What was the line?
3.5.
3.5. I'd buy that to 3 and put that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and this
as long
is
as
still,
Big Ben's out,
it's still a huge divisional game.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the Bears at the Niners. My boy Kaepernick, hopefully starting.
Yeah, I think he's more entertaining to watch than Alex Smith for sure. I had this is a weird game because you don't know if Cutler's probably out and Alex Smith's probably in from what I'm seeing right now, and that's what I picked the line with that in mind. I had 5. Just because without Cutler, the Bears' offense is just embarrassing to watch. If you watch, I mean, Houston's defense is great, but Jason Campbell checked down every single throw, and even if the guys were all over the receivers, and he's still checking down every single play, and it was just terrible to watch.
It's gonna be a great. They're probably gonna rely more on their defenses to score on each side.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about
offenses.
that in the same thing with the Houston-Chicago game last week, and it kind of was very low scoring, and I could see this being very similar. And I wonder what this over under is. I assume maybe 38, and I'd still take the under in this game, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
I think no matter what the number is, obviously I'm assuming it's gonna be around there. I think I'd still take the under. I don't see this game. I see it being very similar to that Houston game last week. And if without Cutler, it's tough to watch Chicago on offense without Cutler, or with Campbell, I guess.
I think Colin Kaepernick is gonna win them this game with a week in practice.
Yeah, I think the Niners should win this game if Cutler doesn't play. I think it should be not much of a game. The Bears, as good as the Bears defense is, I guess they could cover just because their defense could keep it close, and the Niners offense is not very good. But
It's gonna be a defensive
this
struggle.
game's really tough to even predict right now, just because we don't know what's going on with this injuries there. But it could be. We'll see what happens with injuries, but it could. If everyone was playing, this would be a very entertaining game to watch.
It really would be.
I'm kind of pissed the injuries happen. Now it's like it makes like a very good Monday night game into like a very like low scoring, boring. Everyone's gonna be really pissed, turning off the game, kind of like last week, kind of thing. So I mean, I had 5. What was it? I think it was 5.
It was 5.
But that line, it's not up anywhere right now because all the injury question marks. But yeah, so that's this week.
So other than the teaser, what are we giving out to the people?
Packers and Ravens. Those are my. I'll buy the half point for both those and have them at a field goal. No problem with that.
And the Cowboys to give them a
Well,
smackdown.
I had the Cowboys in my teaser, but yeah, you like them even with the spread.
Talking straight up, son.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have the 3 things I'd like: that teaser, and then the Packers and Ravens. And what's the Bengals spread? 3.5.
Yeah.
They should also cover that. The Chiefs are. I mean, buy it to 3 to be safe, but the Chiefs are just not good. And nothing else to say really about the Chiefs ever. Is that it? What else we got? Is that it?
That's it. So your one pick, the Packers.
I picked 4 games.
No,
I picked
teasers.
Okay, then I picked 3 games. I had the Packers, maybe the Bengals, and the Ravens.
I like the Ravens too.
The Ravens at 3 without Big Ben playing seems pretty good. Even though that game's always grinded out like blood, there will be bloodshed. I still think the Ravens are a much better team if Big Ben's out by like blatantly.
It's gonna be a good week. We got some good college football too, my man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see what happens, but until then, everyone, keep your guard up, get the lines in, and we'll see you next week. Kman Gorbachev out.